Fear either kills you or it calls you into action.
Yep.
It's your choice. I'd say go into action, right?
Welcome to the Warner Brothers Lot. I'm Jonathan Buckley, and this is A Lot More. It's not every day we get a brand new take on the Caped Crusader, but today we're diving into the world of Aztec Batman with its director, Juan Meza León. Juan, thank you so much for making the journey to come and be with us today. Did you come up from Ensenada?
I did. I came up here yesterday night, just so I can be here with you guys. And it's a great honor to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Really excited to chat with you. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while because I've been fortunate enough to chat with some of the people that you work with, Ego Plum, Ernie Altbacker, on
Great
the movie
guys.
Aztec Batman.
Thank you.
Was this your brainchild?
I wish. No, I was handpicked by the guys at Anima Studios in Chatrones.
Yep.
The whole idea was conceived down there in Mexico at Anima Studios. You know, one of those things where you're a Batman fan and you just get together and you riff and like, what about this? What about that? What about Batman Azteca? Like, whoa. So they did some preliminary designs, but they were a little cartoony. But the idea was there. And then Daniel, one of the producers down there from Chatrone, he met with me. He looked at my resume or credits or whatever on IMDb and LinkedIn. So they were looking for a new Mexican voice, you know, something that could have this comic book vision for this concept. And so I worked with Warner Brothers on Harley Quinn, on Batman, and a whole bunch of other stuff for Warner Brothers. So like perfect link. So when they pitched me the idea, immediately I fell in love with it. Aztec Batman, that's just...
Do you remember the pitch? Was there a 30-second elevator pitch that they just went, right,
No, I got invited to lunch and the whole thing, and they brought their own little sketches that they had back then, and I was just captivated from that moment. Just me being a Batman fan from since I was a kid, and then obviously growing up in Mexico and learning all the culture, you know, because that the history of Tenochtitlan and all that it's like the mythology of Mexico, right? Every culture has this mythology with the gods and the temples, right? So getting the opportunity to mix both, it's potent. It was like crazy enough not to say yes.
Did you already have the interest in the historical aspects of the region?
I've always had interest in that because I love a lot of stuff of the supernatural stuff and the netherworld and all these different gods and entities. And the Mexican culture, Mexica culture, and a lot of it has a lot of supernatural influence.
Yeah.
And all these gods from the netherworld and the gods of war and all that. So I've always been enamored by it. And also, you know, it's a great form to have this representation, to suddenly have a Mexica Batman. It's like, it works, especially if you know the mythology in Mexico. There's such a thing as a bat deity. So that was the perfect little open window for us to just create our story.
Bat deity. Where did that come from? The bat deity.
Well, in Aztec culture, there was a deity, a bat god called Sinacan.
Yep.
So there was an actual worshiping of a bat god, and also in Mayan culture, there was another bat god called Kamasotos. So there was already an entity that people would worship.
Yep.
It was a deity of the night. It represents sacrifice and rebirth, right? So such a thing did exist. So in the Aztec culture, there was a lot of these spiritual warriors that would take the mantle of like the jaguar or like the eagle, and you can see that in their helmets and in their wardrobe. You know, they represent the energy of these animals. So why not a warrior of the night?
Yeah.
You know, a warrior that represents the spirit of the bat, you know? So when you see the movie, you'll see how it all falls together and it kind of makes sense. Because a little detail was that also that helped us in the story during the research was that the Aztecs didn't fight at night because they didn't have the protection of their god, the sun god, you know?
Right, yep.
So I guess we need a warrior that can fight at night.
A hero that can venture out.
Yeah, because
it's too dangerous to go.
Because the actual fights, when the conquistadors came, they figured out, you know, that they didn't fight at night because they were not protected. So all the attacks were at night. So we need a hero of the night to help us, right? So he he gets the people together and fight against these, invaders. So it was important to mix certain story points of the conquest with our Batman character, and sort of like find a way to put our fictional character into this, real life historical setting. So that was fun. And
How much? I was going to say that must be so fun finding out these pieces of information as you're sort of putting it together and finding out like, wow, there's actually some real usable stuff here that crosses over with the story.
It just fit perfectly, like two pieces of Legos. And that goes to a lot to the research, and also and the doctor, the archaeologist, Alejandro Barriga, he helped us from day one.
So you had an archaeologist on board.
Yeah.
Okay.
He gave us little details from points in the story of what things meant, to the art department of the colors and the structures and the kind of the meaning of each color and the motifs and everything, as well as like character design, like the kind of wardrobe that we use, because there were all these different social classes, like the rich, the middle ones, and then the poor one. So each one had a different style.
Yep.
So all that was very crucial to get all these little details in there.
Was there something that was particularly challenging where they said you just can't add that because it's not relevant to the time? And was that...
Well, from an art standpoint, I know that the color blue was like a deity. It represents deities. So we couldn't have regular blue on people.
Right.
It had to represent like a deity, or it had to represent something like that. So little details like that, yeah. Also, for example, the kind of feathers or the kind of outfits they would wear. Like that's a ceremonial outfit. This is like a regular person's outfit. This is like a royalty outfit. So all those class systems were defined by, because back then the riches were the rareness of the feathers, for example. They didn't really, the gold was just something to give to the gods.
Yep.
They worship, the feathers, the jade, stuff like that. So the more of that, the more, power you had back then, right? But yeah, Barriga helped us a lot in figuring out little details as far as like what they ate, and then we had to design what they eat. The ceremonies, what they meant, certain languages, certain ideas. Like for example, the Moctezuma was not, you couldn't touch him. He was like a deity on earth. So you were not allowed to look him in the eyes. You were not allowed to actually touch him. And here comes Cortez, gives him a handshake and freaks everybody out. And that's when, the frictions start. You know what I mean? But no, I think the research really paid off, because people love the movie. They identify with the movie, and that's one of the things that everybody says is like how you weave all these, real story settings with this fantasy character. It just makes sense, and like why wasn't this done before?
Yeah.
Well, the stars align in the proper way for this to happen right now. Especially now how things are going. It's crazy.
I do want to talk a little bit about you as well, because I want to just find out as well. We'll circle back to the movie in a second, but I just want to find out, how did your path wind you up getting to this place now in your career? Because this has got to be a pretty high point, let's say, of your career.
It's pretty high point. Yeah, it's surreal, man.
Yeah,
it's surreal.
Was there a direct path to this? Or did it just kind of weave?
Well, there's definitely a lot of perseverance,
Yep.
Because when I was a little kid, I've always been a fan of the Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny. More fun of Bugs Bunny than the mouse, right? Because Bugs Bunny's funny.
Yeah.
Mouse, not so much. So I've always been in love with these characters. And since I was a little kid, I was going to, I always said, I'm going to work in movies. I'm going to make cartoons. I want to do comics, blah, blah, blah. The first obstacle you always get is people going, come on, get a real job. What do you mean?
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to work in cartoons, right? Especially coming from members of the family,
Well, and where did you grow up?
In Ensenada, Mexico.
In Ensenada. So I imagine, like, the animation industry there is.
There's none.
Yeah.
Back then, there's none. Now there's like a whole new generation of artists, talented artists that are bringing that animation and that interest into this sort of entertainment, comic books, movies, animation. All this stuff is now really becoming like an industry. But back then, the early 80s, 90s, no such thing.
Nothing.
So I had to find my path. And then I think my first professional storyboard job was back in 1999. Whoa, the 90s. Back in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember the 90s?
Yeah, I remember the 90s.
Good music.
It was a great music.
Fantastic
There was a lot of good
music.
stuff going on.
But this was back at the studio lot where they shot Titanic
Yeah.
and Fox Baja.
Yeah.
That was my second home for years. I got to work on a bunch of movies there. Coincidentally, on Deep Blue Sea.
Yep.
A Warner Brothers
Yep,
movie.
yep,
Again,
yep.
So for some reason
Full
I was
circle.
full circle. Now
Yeah.
I'm here at Warner Brothers, and I feel privileged and honored to be here, especially an opportunity like this, that they entrusted me with this project, and I think everybody worked really hard to do, and it's just an honor that you have this little kid in Baja California dreaming of working in movies, making cartoons, and just that perseverance, working really hard.
Yeah.
Working really hard.
Hard and it's not
testing
easy.
yourself.
Yeah.
Making the meeting the right people, networking correctly, but also they look at your work and it's like, okay, this guy puts his heart into it, and that speaks a lot.
Was it drawing that you first got
Yes,
into?
storyboarding.
Yep.
Storyboarding.
So you're obviously very good at art, I imagine.
Certain things,
Yeah.
I can draw pretty.
Yeah, well, I guess the reason I'm asking it that way is because, like, as a layman, when it comes to directing, we always think of directors out there and yelling cut and action, etc.
Right.
But directing, when it comes to animation,
Yeah, it's a little different.
So talk us through that. Is it a lot of it hands-on with drawing, or is
lot
it
of it.
more? So you are drawing.
Super hands-on.
Yep.
Super hands-on. That's one of the things that I think, they liked about how I work. It's that it's a very collaborative effort. Like a film, music, whatever, animation, special animation, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be designed. There's a lot of communication that has to happen. So you trust on these people that that are part of the team. You trust that their talent
Yep.
are going to enhance your vision or going to enhance what you're trying to do. So you got to trust on a lot of these artists, right? But if there's some things that you got to change, I'm gonna get in there and do the changes and tweak it and no, and then okay, here we go. This is what I mean. Oh,
Yep.
okay. So they
Now
have
I
to go.
understand.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So for the storyboards, again, I get a storyboard artist. They give me like an action scene. I go in there and do the changes, where I feel that the action can be more dynamic here, or the drama can be more impactful here, or maybe the joke needs to land over here. So I go hands-on on everything. And I remember Jen at Harley Quinn was saying that, okay, I know some artists are very sensitive, but Juan is a good guy, and he gets his hands in there. He's very hands-on, so don't take it personal. He just likes to get it done the best it can be, right?
Yep.
So with that attitude, yeah, everybody was on board, and yeah, it's amazing because when you're directing for like an animated series, a bunch of designs are already there. A lot of the world's already kind of pre-designed and established.
Yep.
The only new things would be like on the newest script, like a prop or a set or a thing. But most of it is already taken care of. But like in this feature, I was responsible for every decision,
Wow.
everything from script, storyboard, from art design, character design, the color palette, and I was just this that. So it's a lot of decision making,
Yeah.
and a lot of collaboration, and trusting that your decisions are correct, right? And you trust that your talent is also contributing to make it the best it can be.
Yeah.
Correct.
Was it a stressful experience?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've just got this image of a giant whiteboard at home with lots of pictures, almost like a
All of
crime
that.
scene, like piecing everything
Yeah,
together.
like a conspiracy theory thing. Yes.
Exactly. Is that how it works?
Like, sort of, yeah, because you have your schedule, right? And then you have your latest designs, and then you have some of your storyboards, and then you have, so yeah, and then your list of props and your list of shot list, and yeah, it was it was a lot of long hours, a lot of weekends,
Lot to be done. Yeah.
a lot of trouble with the missus because are you still on the computer? I'm like, yes. It's 2 a.m. Come to bed. Well, I got a meeting in the morning. It has to be done.
Trust me, honey, it's worth it.
It's well, that's a whole other story.
Well,
But anyways, yeah, especially because we had people from the different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Like we had people in LA, people in Mexico, people in Central America, South America, and Spain.
Yeah.
So to coordinate
Just
meetings,
all over it.
yeah, I would have to have like super important meetings.
Well, what was the magic hour that you decided on?
Oh, well, it would depend because sometimes the producers in Spain
Yeah.
would be available at a certain time. So here in LA, it would be like 7 a.m.
Okay, not bad.
So imagine having a huge production meeting at 7 a.m.
Lots of coffee.
I need coffee.
Yeah.
But, that's what it was. That's what it was. But you know what? It was an exciting experience. It was one of a lifetime experiences,
Well, I feel like there's room for a second in a lifetime experience with this.
Well, we hope so because there's plenty of story to tell.
Does seem
Because
like it.
when we had the opportunity to start developing, they hooked me up with Ernie.
Yep.
And immediately we click. We had a wonderful collaborative relationship. We still have. We want to continue working together. But yeah, no, he has a fantastic background in animated Batman movies.
Very enthusiastic.
You know what I
about
mean?
The topic.
He's a huge fan as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
So that helps.
Yep.
When your heart is already in it, especially to tell a new story, something like this. So the back and forth was great. I gave him a whole bunch of material for him to read and put into the story, and then back and forth conversations. So, okay, so this can happen here, so that when he does this, it influences this part of the historical moment. Sort of like this is oversimplifying it, but in a similar way, how Forrest Gump affects history.
Yes.
His presence there affects history. Our Batman, in a way, his presence there affects history.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that the people really liked of how we integrated our fictional character into real life settings, and how him being there actually either caused or pushed things forward, or consequences, and now he has to deal with it. He's trying to help people. Like, for example, when he tells Moctezuma to go talk to the people, and when Moctezuma shows up, the people react because they feel like he betrayed them by allowing all these invaders in. And that's an actual historical thing.
Yeah.
When he came out to talk to the people didn't like him because he allowed these invaders in that are just causing mayhem. So it's ambiguous how he died. Some people say that it's either the people that killed him. Some people said the Spanish killed him.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
the way we put it in the movie is exactly that. It's
Yep.
like our fictional characters are there for that moment in history that is like, was it the Spanish? Was it his own people?
Yeah.
So all these little details, we make sure that our Batman was influential in making them happen. So yeah, Ernie was a great collaborator. And the information that we got from the archaeologist was fantastic. But yeah, a lot of reading articles, a lot of documentaries, everything that you can get your information. And, I think I overwhelmed Ernie with a whole bunch of PDFs and like pages and pages and pages of me writing, and then this and then that, and then this meant this and this meant that. But it's there because we had a whole idea to make it like a mini-series.
Ah, so not a feature in the beginning.
No, it was supposed to be a mini-series.
Okay.
But then at one point, WB said, well, let's see if there's like an actual audience for this, because this is like a big commitment.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's concise that story into one movie, and if it finds an audience, we can continue telling the rest of the story. Like, all right, fair.
Yep.
Makes sense. So yeah, there's a whole
You've packed
world.
a lot into that story.
Oh my God, there was so much more.
We were discussing it. I mean, you've got the origin stories of, and spoiler alert as well if anyone's watching.
Spoilers.
Hasn't seen it yet. It's coming soon. Hopefully you'll go and check it out. But there's your Batman origin story. You've got the Two-Face origin story. You've got
Two-Face.
Joker origin story.
Joker, yeah.
You're really setting up this whole universe, and you've packed a lot in. Did you come into this with an open slate, or was it kind of said, hey, we want these characters to be inserted into this feature film and build this universe quickly and effectively in a film?
Well, we definitely had to have the ones that we have there because they're the most iconic, right?
Yep.
Which is Joker, Two-Face. There we have a Poison Ivy, but she's a Forest Ivy. They see it in the trailer, so that's no spoiler. There's also a Catwoman. This is now a Jaguar Woman. So, but we also had, at one point, we had like a Ra's al Ghul. We had like a Robin. We had from the Spanish side, I think you get like a sneak peek toward the mid-end credits.
Yep.
No spoilers.
Yep. Yep.
So that we also have like the Batman world version, from the villain side. But also there's a villain within its own people, because there's another thing that happened, that a lot of the conquest was fought with native versus native. The Tlaxcaltecas from Mexico hated the Aztecs. And when the Spanish came, it was like, we want to go to Tenochtitlan. And they were like, well, they're pretty hardcore. Yeah, let's go fight them. So a lot of the fighting happened amongst Mexicans.
Yep.
So there's like that betrayal kind of thing. Tlaxcaltecas and Tlaxcalers always looked at as like, oh, you guys were the traitors because you fought your own people. So that's where the idea of having like a Joker, somebody that's going to betray them, comes in. Because if you see the movie, when Cortés is in a moment of reassessing things, that's when the Joker shows up. It's like, I can help you.
Yeah.
And he's one of their own. But that just enriches the story, It just makes it more visceral. And that's what the Joker would do. Ernie did a great job on that. And yeah.
Was there pressure when it comes to this telling this type of story? Obviously, you've got to take creative license with it's it's a fantastical story of a Batman, right? But there is a lot of history there, and as someone that doesn't, I'm not super well versed in the origins of the Aztec world or Mesoamerica, I genuinely watched the film, and the first thing I did was, I got curious about it and started looking it up, and I was like, wow, you guys have folded in a lot of history in there. But does that also carry a certain amount of pressure as well to get it right?
A little bit of both. The history of the conquest in Mesoamerican Mexico is jealously protected. It's something that the Mexican people are very, very proud of, and they protect it really passionately. So to have it, to have like some comic book characters, like, oh, that's just crazy. In fact, it was hard to find archaeologists that understood what we were doing, because they protect that culture so much in their history. We're like, well, that's almost blasphemy. How dare you put like a comic book character in our sacred history? So it was hard to find somebody that got the idea, Thankfully, Alejandro was a comic book fan. He understood what we were trying to do. So he was very collaborative with that. So, okay, we have to treat the story of the conquest with respect also, but there's a window of freedom of creativity, because everything all the history that we know is just an interpretation by, the Spanish frailes. So it's just them interpreting things, and a lot of information was completely lost. The temples were lost, so a lot of it had to be just from like putting, and that a lot of that goes to Diego, the art director, how to construct Tenochtitlan, because there's no pictures, there's no videos, everything is just like written things, like this book says this book says that, okay, so let's combine this information to create this vision, right? So there's a lot of little things that are still open to interpretation, because a lot of the history was lost. A lot of it was lost. So what's in the history books is just like an interpretation of what it meant, but there's no solid information other than what is left, which is just ruins. So there's nothing. So that gave us a little window to just put our own little creativity based on what we knew, to the point, like, again, back to Alejandro, when he saw the backgrounds for the movie, when he saw the designs for the characters, especially the backgrounds, he fell in love with the backgrounds. Yeah. And he goes, I love it. That's exactly what I envisioned when I talk about Tenochtitlan. Enough that he told Diego that if he can give him some of those illustrations, so I can put them in his computers as screensavers. Yeah. So that's a compliment, right?
Absolutely.
Research well done, right?
Is there a name for the style of animation that you use in this film?
Well, there's a combination of digital, there's, and traditional.
Yep.
And the more dramatic stuff, the ones that, is just characters talking or dialogue, that's more of a digital approach, But with the fighting, but all the fighting and the action and all the dynamic movements, those were all traditional, hand drawn.
Traditional hand drawn.
So it was a combination of two styles to get it right.
To get right.
Yeah.
But then the aesthetic, because I'm trying to say is like, you can kind of have like cartoony styles, you can have sort of Japanese manga type style. Was there a particular style you were aiming for with this?
From the get-go, it's like, okay, let's see if we can develop Anima's style of animation.
Yep.
So that it still has a distinct look that says, oh, this is not your typical Warner Brothers animated, or this is not like a Japanese. No, this is something new. This is something different.
Yep.
So we try to get the most out of the models that we had with the amount of resources and time that we had. So designing the shot sequences and stuff like that either allow us to get the more out of the rigs of the animation, or just see when can we cut to the traditional animation. But the style was from the get-go. I wanted for Anima to have their own style.
Yeah.
And I think we achieved it. Because this is the first time Anima has ever done a movie like this, and they should be very proud because they did a fantastic job. Up to this point, they're mostly known for family-oriented cartoons, like cartoony stuff.
You didn't shy away from the violence in this one.
Oh, there was a lot more violence.
Yeah.
So that was the main note that we got. Less blood, please.
So you wanted to go heavier?
How do you not tell the conquest of a whole country without blood?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is. History is written in blood completely.
Yeah.
So we went full on.
Yeah.
We went full on when the violence happened. The artist will fully just drawing, just Kill Bill everywhere.
Oh wow! Yeah,
like blood splatter, limbs being chopped off.
Because we had a very vengeful Batman in this one.
Well, the times were definitely tough back then, so you had to be a little bit tough. But he never kills, though.
Yeah.
He never kills. He never kills. We try to. That was another note that we got. Even though it's a very violent movie.
Yep.
Batman never kills.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that keeps him still Batman. Because at one point in the story, he realizes that it's not about his vengeance. It's something bigger than him.
Yep.
So he has to reassess the situation where it's not just a simple, I'm going to go kill you because you killed my dad. Yeah, that's just going to make things worse, especially if you have a whole army there, So how do I approach this? How do we approach this? So that's when, no spoilers, that's when he has to use his Batman ingenuity to make it happen, But yeah, I was surprised because we took out a lot of the blood splatter, a lot of the violence, so that we can make it more for a broader audience.
Good to introduce as many people as you can to a new version.
As much, just a little bit of red here and there. But the idea was exactly what happened. What you just said is like it awoke in curiosity. I want to find out more about this, right? And that's exactly what happened. That was one of the things that also was a huge motivation, is because we're gonna get to reintroduce a whole new generation of kids about their roots and culture, even though it's a fantasy movie.
Yep.
With a comic book superhero, it's still set in a real historical setting
with real people,
real people, real names, real moments.
That's what I was shocked about when I read about Cortez. I was like, wow, this is like, because I had a feeling straight away. I was like, this doesn't seem like this is oddly specific. I've got to check this out. And
that's what happened. Like Horacio's kid, she was interested in history, and she started asking questions about the temples, about the culture. Like, Dad, can we go to the museum tomorrow? I want to know more about this.
Yep.
Same with the supervising, the storyboard supervisor. His kid also was, I want to learn more about this, Dad. So it's definitely bringing a whole new spotlight, to the culture. People find out more about it.
And you mentioned Horacio. He's one of your voice talent.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. Where did you find, because you have great voice talent in this film, where did you find it?
That was one of the things that the gods just made it happen. Because when we had another talented Mexican voice artist Tenoch Huerta, and it was Horacio. So it came down to those two. So when we were doing the conceptual designs, we did the designs of young Yohali and warrior Yohali and everything. And when we had it done, we presented to Horacio, and it was him. I never met the guy, but his face was in the conceptual illustrations.
Wow.
For the character.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys took pictures of me and no, this is just us working on it, making it look like this, like that. It looks like me. And then Tenoch went on to Marvel World. So the guys decided, you are it.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because when the producers saw it, I'm like, yeah, well, that's him right there in the illustration.
Yeah.
Plus the enthusiasm that he showed, the interest that he showed.
He designed your. Did you say he designed your hat that you're wearing?
Yeah, he did this.
Wow,
It's
actually a really cool hat.
Right?
It's a really cool hat.
No, he been giving them away to the people at the premiere in Mexico. Everybody loved it. And he's fully 100% both feet in the water for this one.
Yeah.
He appreciates the opportunity. He's a huge fan of Batman. So him getting to represent the Mexican Batman and represent the people of Mexico and the culture of Mexico and reintroducing it to the world, especially through this internationally beloved character that is Batman, it's powerful.
Yeah, it really is. This has been really fascinating. I'm curious to know if you have any advice for somebody who maybe is growing up in a small town somewhere where there's no world of animation or
right.
And they've got the idea that they want to get into this type of thing. Have you got any advice?
Oh, geez. Well, definitely if you, as an artist, make sure you're able to draw, paint, or whatever, everything, Don't limit yourself to just one style or one genre, you know? If you want to be a storyteller, you've got to be able to tell every possible story, either dramatic, comedy, action, cartoony stuff. If you're drawing, make sure you can draw cartoony stuff, nature, fauna, humans, perspective, but also the perseverance, and also get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And if you want to be in this place, it's very helpful to surround yourself with people that are already working on what your interests are, And you have to be patient, especially with yourself. Because even though you want to become an artist and everything, somebody has to make the coffee.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to start. I was a PA. I was making copies. And then eventually...
And those are long hours too. That's big days, yeah.
Because I was just making copies and just... Because back then you had to go to the copy machine and, okay, I have to resize it. So it's a whole waste of paper. And then, okay, we got to make the coffee. So you have to be in a place where you start to learn from people doing it, even if it's at the bottom as a PA.
Yeah.
Eventually people will notice your interest in hard work because you're surrounded with people who are looking for more talent, right? So that's what it started for me. I was just a PA on the studios, and then they found out that I could draw. And they were like, well, we're looking for a storyboard artist. Can you do storyboards? Like, sure. Obviously, I didn't.
Yeah.
So my compadre, he gave me these books that showed you how to do storyboards, and I just Xeroxed them and I just devoured them and started rehearsing and tried to understand the language. So by the time, I get to do the job, I had a knowledge of it. Same with digital. Once everything was going to go to digital in the next job, I got my hands on stuff that I needed, like a trial of the software that was going to be used. So I had 2 weeks to kind of learn it. So by the time the job came along, I knew what it was going to be about. So that's one of the things that helped me a lot is the perseverance, the really believing in your work, working really, really hard, knowing how to take direction, knowing how to collaborate, being a team player for sure. I can't emphasize enough that it's definitely the network of people that
I get the sense from everyone that I've spoken to that's worked on this film that you guys have really put together a nice, talented, highly talented, tight-knit group. And it seems like it's been a positive experience for everyone.
Yeah, no. This is great. We're all really grateful to be part of this because we feel that it's something bigger than us. It's something that is going to transcend, and hopefully it'll inspire the next generation of artists. Because I remember when I was walking out of the movie theater, a kid coming out of the movie theater and then just walking on cloud nine, right? Remember when that happened and this and that? Oh, it's so excited. Oh, so inspired, right? Changed my life. Like, I want to do that. I want to be part of that magic.
Yeah.
So hopefully this movie will influence somebody, a little kid that go, whoa, did you see that? Da, da, da. I want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's, if we did that with somebody, then mission accomplished, man.
Well, you've already done it with me because I'm looking at it now going like Aztec Batman, the mashing of two worlds together. Like, I didn't know that was a thing that you could even do. So now I'm like, well, what other worlds can be mashed together? And
the possibilities are endless, as long as it's a good story.
Yep.
That's the key. You have to have a really good story, a story with heart, a story with like actual human emotion, something that anybody around the world can understand and identify with. Because I think we all understand going through a tragedy, the loss of a loved one. Suddenly your whole world crumbles and you feel powerless. Well, you're gonna, like the movie says, sort of like the unofficial slogan, fear either kills you or it calls you into action.
Yep.
It's your choice. I'd say go into action, right?
I agree. Couple of rapid fire questions for you just to finish up and then we'll let you get on out of there. You're not driving back to Mexico after this, are you?
Yeah, no.
Not for a minute? Okay.
No, I got to get ready for tomorrow.
I was going to say, it's got to be action stations for you right now, right?
Yeah, no,
it's like, this is the time to enjoy.
It'll be plenty of time to rest.
You did Comic-Con already?
Yeah. That was a huge hit.
Yeah.
That was over 2,000 people, standing ovation.
And then we have the premiere tomorrow?
Yes. We have
18th?
it here. We have it here at Hola Mexico Festival.
Fantastic.
We have it tomorrow in early evening, right? Yeah. So everybody should go check it out.
Okay. Quick rapid fire questions. Is there another superhero that you'd like to set back into an Aztec world?
Horacio gave me this idea, and you know what? I think it would be a great inclusion to this world. What if a certain alien landed in the Mayan culture?
Oh.
I'm just going to leave it like that.
Didn't we do that in Prey? No. Wasn't the Predator one?
Well, that's, I'm talking about some certain Kryptonian.
Oh, wait. Okay.
But that would be great to see that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's a version of him, a red sun, where he lands in Russia.
Yeah.
What if he lands an ancient Mesoamerican Mayan? What would that be like?
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of cool.
All right.
But that's just like two geeks just riffing on ideas.
I like it though, but that's why this is such a fun. Again, Elseworlds is a term that I'd never heard until we started delving into this movie.
Oh man, I love
which is
comic books. Go check them out. Comic books are great.
All right. What's your perfect movie food?
Sitting there.
You're watching a movie. You're like, right, I'm ordering food. What are you getting?
Ooh, well, you got to go for your popcorn, right?
Yep.
I kind of like the salty buttery ones with the caramels, but I also like I wouldn't say no to a nice hot dog.
Oh yeah, I'd like a cheeky hot dog every now and again.
I mean?
Oh no, I'm right there with you.
And if it's one of those theaters, maybe something with a little zest.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Because you have to enjoy the movie. It has to be a pleasurable thing.
It's a treat.
It is a treat.
You got to have all the
treat.
treats.
Please go to the movies. Get out of the house. Go to the movies.
Is there another world you'd like to set Batman into?
Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Well, we started riffing on that idea that we were talking earlier about a medieval Batman.
Medieval Batman would be
That
rad.
would be kind of cool.
That would be super
the
rad.
armor would be freaking awesome.
Yep.
And seeing him up on a horse, it's like something out of Frank Frazetta.
Now we're talking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, you get to have the whole, mythological things, with the monsters and the creatures and the King Arthur.
Yeah. Right there.
Come on, man.
If you weren't directing, what would be your dream gig?
Oh, my God. It would either be like a comic book illustrator or I really love, which is unfortunately a dying art, I really love doing special makeup effects.
Yeah.
I started my whole career in live action before I started doing storyboards. So I was like a PA here, doing a little bit of that, doing a bit of this. And they're like, "Hey, can you draw? Do storyboards." And then took off into doing storyboards. But I would love to go back to live action. And if I'm not directing, I would love to do, like, for example, what Greg Nicotero does on The Walking Dead. Like that kind of stuff.
Like the prosthetic
I
type.
love that stuff.
Yeah.
I get just working with my hands,
Creativity.
Creativity. Like, for example, when you see Guillermo del Toro and how he mixes actual prosthetic makeup effects with digital stuff, like, ooh, I want to create that. Working with clay, stuff like that. But that's something that I don't think it's gonna happen. But I can draw comic books.
Yeah. Last question. Are you going to bring back Arnold Schwarzenegger to voice Aztec Mr. Freeze?
That would be great. That would be fantastic. I don't know how we're going to make it work, but we'll make it work, Mr. Freeze in the Aztec world. I don't think there's refrigeration back then.
Yeah.
So maybe just a whole bunch of salt. I don't know. But that would be great. If he's up for it, I'll do it. I'll love to do it.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm
Thank
super
you.
excited for you. I'm excited for the movie.
Thank you very much.
I'm excited for everybody involved, and I'm excited that there is a whole new world of Batman to explore.
Thank you very much, and I hope people really enjoy it because it's a very unique story. It's an original take on it. It definitely has a lot of heart. And one thing that I think people should definitely take into consideration is that this is a Batman movie completely fully made by talented artists from Mexico, animators, painters, designers, as well as people from Central America and South America. So it's a great way to get us the spotlight into Mexican and Latin American talent, to show the world that there's a lot of fantastic potential in the hands of talented artists down there. So support the movie. Please go see it. It comes out November 18th.
18th.
And digital November 19th.
Yep.
It represents a Mexican culture and the talent in a fascinating way. So there's more to tell. So please.
I think it's something to be very proud of.
Yeah.
And we're going to be staying tuned because I know that there's definitely a sequel in the works.
Well, let's hope so. There's definitely story to tell. There's more story to tell.
Thanks, Juan.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.